father's palace and meeting her children and kins, Damayanti told her mother, "Mother, if you want to see me alive, please arrange for the search for my husband as soon as possible. It is becoming increasingly difficult for me to survive without him every passing day." Damayanti's mother assured her that her father will put all the resources at his disposal to look for Nal, and by God's grace, you will be reunited with your beloved husband in no time. The king called for all the wise men in his kingdom and formed a search party, this time only for King Nal. Damayanti addressed the search party. "O wise men of Vidarbha, listen to me carefully. If Nal does not want to be found, all your wisdom will be useless in locating him. I am telling you a method that will help you in this process." Damayanti continued. "Whenever you are in a gathering of men, say these words out loud. Oh beloved, you tore away half of my sari and left me to fend for myself in the middle of nowhere. Your beloved is still waiting for you in that torn sari." Notice the reaction of everyone present to these words. Whoever reacts to these words, talk to them. Pay attention to every word they say. Come back and narrate me that conversation verbatim without missing a single letter. Do not let anyone know that you are doing this on my orders." After receiving instructions from Damayanti, the search party of hundreds of wise men spread in all directions searching for King Nal. Many days passed. One day a messenger named Parnad came to meet Damayanti. He said, "Princess, as instructed by you, I have been telling your story to men across the world. In this process, I landed at the assembly of King Rituparna of Ayodhya. There in a crowded assembly, I narrated your story to everyone present. Initially, nobody reacted to my story. However, when I was leaving, a charioteer named Bahok stopped me and talked to me in a corner." Damayanti's heart was pounding with excitement. Parnad took a pause and then started talking again. "Devi, he is a short and ugly man. He manages the stables of King Rituparna and trains his horses. He also cooks for the king." Damayanti was getting restless and said, "O wise Brahmin, please do not waste time in talking about his job and his appearance. Tell me at once what he told you after he took you to the corner." Parnad continued. "With tears in his eyes, he told me, 'Great women are always able to protect themselves with the power of their purity. Even if their husband leaves them due to some unfortunate circumstances, they do not get angry with him. He usually leaves when there is no option left, and he also lives in pain of separation every single day in such a miserable state. It is not fair to be mad at him. I agree what he did was not right, but he was helpless." "Princess, I have narrated to you the entire conversation in his own words. Now you please give me instructions on how I should proceed further." Damayanti had tears in her eyes. She told Parnad to leave and not tell anyone else about this. Later she told her mother, "Sudev was the one who brought me here. I will seek his help in figuring out if this charioteer Bahok has any connection with my Nal. In the meantime, please do not tell father anything about this." Damayanti called Sudev and said, "Sudev, you leave for Ayodhya at once. Once you reach there, seek an audience with King Rituparna. Tell the king that since there is no news about Nal for so long, Damayanti has decided to marry again. She has invited all the suitors from across kingdoms to participate in her Swamvar being held next day morning. If you want to marry Damayanti, you must reach there before the next day morning. As instructed by Damayanti, Sudev went to Ayodhya and passed on her message to King Rituparna. King Rituparna knew about Damayanti's divine beauty and was present during her first Swayamvar as one of the suitors. He got very excited hearing about another chance at marrying her, if only he could ride fast enough to reach Kundinagar overnight. He called Bahuk and said, "Bahuk, Princess of Vidarbha, Damayanti has called for her Swayamvar. She will select a suitable groom for her tomorrow morning. Can you ride our chariot fast enough to reach Kundinagar by sunrise tomorrow?" When Bahuk heard this news from King Rituparna, his heart started aching. Various thoughts crossed his mind. He could not believe his ears. He could not believe that Damayanti was going to marry someone else. However, the only way to know the truth was to take Rituparna to Kundinagar. Bahuk folded his hands and said, "O king, if anyone in the world can ride fast enough to cover the distance between Ayodhya and Vidarbha in one night, it is me. You do not worry. I will make sure you reach Kundinagar before sunrise." He picked 4 fastest horses from royal stables and prepared the chariot for the ride of his life. In no time, he was ready with Varshane to take King Rituparna to Vidarbha. Bahuk's chariot started crossing jungles and mountains at a speed only birds are known to move with. On the way, King Rituparna decided to show off his skills with numbers and said, "Bahuk, look at that tree. There are 100 times as many fruits and leaves are on the ground as on the tree." Bahuk stopped the chariot to verify the math and found it to be accurate and said, "O king, your knowledge of numbers is remarkable." To this Rituparna replied, "Not only numbers, I am also an expert in the game of dice. I am so good at it that it feels like the dice obeys my commands." Bahuk asked the king, "If you teach me your skill in the game of dice, I will in return teach you how to train horses." King Rituparna liked this offer and taught the skill to make dice obey your command to Bahuk. The moment Bahuk learned the skill from King Rituparna, Kalyug came out of Nal's body, spitting the venom of the Karkotak snake. Nal was extremely angry and wanted to curse Kalyug instantly. Kalyug stood in front of Nal with folded hands and said, "O wise king, please calm down. The day you had left Damayanti, she had cursed me to suffer. It was her curse that caused me to bear the pain of Karkotak's venom. Please do not curse me. Instead, I give you a boon. Today I announce that whosoever listens to your story and tell it to others will be immune to the ill effects of Kalyug." Finally, Kalyug left Nal's body and disappeared after granting him this boon. Kalyug was invisible to everyone else, so Bahuk's real identity was not revealed to King Rituparna. Having learned the secrets of the game of dice and gotten relieved of the clutches of Kalyug, Bahuk pushed his horses with extra enthusiasm and managed to reach Kundinagar the same day just after sunset. When King Bhimak was informed of the visit from King Rituparna, he respectfully invited him to his royal palace. On their way to the palace, Nal's horses who were living in Kundinagar, since Varshane had left them there, sensed his presence and started neighing. Damayanti also knew only her beloved Nal in the whole world had the skill to ride this fast. She climbed on the roof of the palace to get a glimpse of her long-lost husband. In the next and final part of this amazing saga, we will witness the reunion of the fated couple and find out how this